Good morning. Today we're going to do a brief tutorial on free service for the Tuttnauer 2340M. This tutorial is applicable to any of the Tuttnauer M series, the manual series. The electronic series is a whole different ball of wax. We're going to concentrate on the M series. For convenience, we've already taken the screws off of the covers so we can do a good inspection of it. We're going to remove the covers and set the covers aside. Our first course of action is going to be remove the tray and remove the tray rack. Now we're going to visually inspect the chamber for waves, corrosion. This chamber, to be as old as a sterilizer as it is, looks pretty good. I can see some calcification. This would be a good chance for you to sell a maintenance program for the sterilizer to the doctor. Bi-monthly cleaning, bi-weekly cleaning. A sterilizer is only as good as you keep it clean. And remember to use the factory recommended cleaners. With Tuttnauer, it's a product called Chamber Bright. Second to that, we check the chamber filter. We'll hold it up to a little light, see if we can look through it, and we don't see any lint, any problems with it. If we do, we can rinse it off under the sink and scrub it with a toothbrush, and the lint will come right off of the item. Okay. Now we're going to reinsert it back up in our fill port. Now, our next subject is to check your door gasket. We want to make sure the door gasket is smooth in the door fascia, no ridges, no bubbles, no cuts. A Tuttnauer door gasket is indicative to be changed when you have certain slices, cuts, or when it extrudes or looks like it's too fat for the channel. So we've moved on. Our door gasket looks good. We can take a damp cloth and wipe the door gasket down. Next, we're going to check our bellows, our door bellows. Here we are. We want to make sure the piston is springy. We can use a pen, any kind of instrument to do that. Phillips head screwdriver, pocket knife, what have you. Make sure the brass retainer nut is tight. Okay. Next, we open our drain valve, and we have water draining freely, and it shuts off. These are all replacement items. Ladies and gentlemen, this can all lead to sales. This can all lead to sales of parts and repetitive service. If you're good, you can write up another service call after this, as I said, a maintenance one, or parts replacement. Let me stress too, before you do a lot of these maintenances, you want to get a feeler out in your territory and see the prevalent types of sterilizers in your territory and stock appropriately for that. There's no excuse for not having door gaskets, door dams, timers, little small, inexpensive parts to keep these running. Sterilization is critical. It's listed in our menu of services as an emergency, and it is very much an emergency. The doctor's dead in the water without it. In a sterilizer, we only use distilled water. Our second item is going to be to check our door switch, and we have a good positive click on the door switch. Third item is, let's check our chamber insulation. Make sure our chamber insulation's in sight, because it does affect the speed that the machine heats up and the way that it maintains the temperature. Third item, let's make sure the sterilizer's plugged in. We do a visual check of our wiring on the wiring side. We look for scorched wires, burnt connections, anything that doesn't look indicative to make electricity flow. You can smell burned wires. You can actually visually see them. We look fine. Now, inside our reservoir, we'll take our cup off. We'll check to see that our air trap jet moves freely, which it does. We'll check to make sure visibly that there are no holes in the condenser coil. And we'll look at the safety valve. To actually check and function these items, the sterilizer must be in a cycle. Running at the cycle will also determine whether the fill vent valve is good, defective, or needs replacement, and that the timer works. Because remember, on a Tuttnauer, the timer constitutes an on-off switch. We're filling the chamber right now. And we're going to fill it to the line, as we all know how to fill a Tuttnauer properly. You see our line dimple. Okay, now we put on sterile since we've reached the line on STE on our function valve. Close the door using the closing mechanism. Turn our start switch on, which institutes our power light, and we'll turn the timer on, which institutes our heat lamp. Now, all that's left to do is watch the sterilizer a cycle and observe the safety valve and observe the air trap jet. Do a mirror test, or either take your glasses, go around the door fascia to ensure there are no steam leaks, cap the machine up, and there you go. We're going to let this machine warm up. We'll come back and we'll briefly go over the safety trap mechanism and the correct exhaust procedure. While you're doing this, while you're waiting for the sterilizer to heat up, this is an excellent opportunity to speak with the doctor or speak with the lead assistant regarding other repairs in the office. Doctor, ma'am, can I look at your air compressor while I'm here? You've got me for a few moments. Let me check your air compressor. Let me check an operatory. Do you have any problems that we need to address while this is heating up? Because roughly from a cold start, we're going to take about 20 minutes to heat up to temperature to be able to check the pressures properly. This is a good time to discuss maintenance with the staff. And as I said, this is a good time to sell a maintenance program for the sterilizer. Remember, the better a sterilizer is maintained, the cleaner it is, the better it will perform for you. We'll be back as soon as the sterilizer reaches temperature, and we'll go over a few more things, and this will conclude this video. Hey, welcome back. We're up to temperature. Now we're going to check our door gasket for steam leaks by either using a mirror or taking our glasses off and going around the periphery of the door, especially at the 9 o'clock position where the doorbells are, to make sure that we don't have any steam leaks. And we are cool. Like I said, you can use a mirror or even your watch crystal. And we're fine. Now, our last part of the preventive maintenance is in the reservoir. I will turn the reservoir to give us all better access and visibility. This is our safety valve. Don't pull the safety valve. Make sure that in your orifices where your instrument's pointing, where my finger's pointing, you don't see any steam leaks. Be very careful, you'll get burned. I'm extremely thick-skinned. Be very careful, use an instrument. We look fine. One note, guys, it's awfully hard to diagnose the safety valve leaking because of the steam that continually comes out of the air trap jet. One piece of maintenance to tell the ladies in the office is, through the covers and through the fill hole in the reservoir, is to manipulate this in and out once a week. Straight in and out. This machine will will fail its spore tests if this isn't performed in a weekly manner. It will fail spore tests. Now, we look down in the reservoir and we can see some grime. Basically, the grime is leftover handpiece oil and debris from sterilization, which is another indicator that the machine needs cleaning. This machine needs cleaning every 2 weeks. Like I said earlier in the video, this is an excellent time to talk with a doctor about a continuing maintenance program on your sterilizer. It will greatly relieve your mind of having to field emergency calls and will ensure income and also ensure the doctor's proper sterilization. If you have any parts questions or technical questions, feel free to contact us at www.parts@dentalfixrx.com or either call Paul or myself on the phone. Thank you very much.